booties for black girl nerds.
Before we start, please say your name. As a person with a fellow unique name, please say your name for me so I say it properly.
Angourie rhymes with flowery.
Angourie, that is beautiful, just as beautiful as you. Thank you for your time. This was a cool movie in that I like teen coming of age things, but it didn't have the same old tropes that we're used to. And we got to know a character in Honor that really kind of forges a unique story in that when we meet her, we don't know if she's a mean girl. We don't know what's going on, but highly intelligent and highly evolved. When you think of that character and teenagers now, what do you think some of the challenges that teenagers face, and how does Honor Society help teenagers see themselves in a film like this?
Yeah, I think, well, when I was in high school, something I really struggled with, and still now, is that idea of performing and kind of being a chameleon and kind of changing depending on who you're talking to, and being the person that other people want you to be rather than, being who you want to be, and staying true to yourself in that way. And I think Honor is constantly playing that game of appeasing other people and playing a game. And what I love is that she learns that if she shows people that her true self, some people might not like it, but some people will. And they're the people who are worth becoming friends with, who are worth knowing, who are worth keeping around. So I think that's a really beautiful message.
I like that. It would be so easy to have her go off the rails and just be mean or just very one-dimensional, but there's still something at the core of her that connects with people. What do you think that thing is? Because she has two friends who don't have that same ability to connect with people. So what do you think that is, that trait?
I think with Honor, it's that she has this quality where she's able to use her powers for good at the end. And I think that's the interesting thing. It's really hard for her to admit that she's wrong, but she does. And all of these kind of qualities that she has, like being ambitious and being brave and being smart and outsmarting others, towards the end of the film, she uses those powers for good. She uses those powers to help other people, which I think is really special.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I'm intrigued by wardrobing in projects like this. When I talked to our Armani and Amy earlier, Kennedy got a kick. She's like, that wardrobe matched mine, having all that black clothing. I was into it. And Travis liked his fly sneakers. What did you like most about the costuming? Did you hold anything back? Because you guys were some really cute teenagers.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved them, and then I hated them, the big platform shoes, because she wears like all of her shoes, I think mostly because Kelsey and Avery, who play Talia and Emma, the best friends, they are both very tall and I'm not. Mm-hmm. So they put me in platform shoes and I loved them. They were so cool. And then they ended up hurting my feet a little bit. But I think the shoes were the thing also because Honor is so preppy with her collar and, her little skirts. And then she's got these like big platform sneakers and loafers. So, yeah, super cool.
We'll pretend it's metaphorical, that she's got big shoes to fill. So
exactly.
We're gonna run with that. I was telling Armani and Amy that the pro tip is that retailer that we all like to order online from, we know who that is. There is a spray you can spray on your feet that will numb your feet. So if you have to wear high heels or something all night, because Armani mentioned how he had to wear heels in the scene for the play.
Yes.
If you spray your feet with that, it will keep your feet together.
That's so interesting. Also, because I was also putting shoe warmers in my shoes every day because we filmed in Vancouver and it was so cold. So that's a good tip. I'll take that with me.
That is a good pro tip. And lastly, if you had to give a message to young people who are trying to forge their path or, be true to themselves and have a little bit of fear or anything that's holding them back from doing that, what advice would you give them?
Oh goodness. I mean, it's something I'm still figuring out myself. So I guess it's that thing of like, um it's scary and it's hard to be vulnerable, because I very much want everyone to like me all the time. But at the end of the day, like, you go home and it's just you, and you have to like yourself as well. You have to be okay with who you are when other people aren't around to please. So I think that's something to think about, I guess, and something that I'm still figuring out. And that's definitely what Anna learns. She learns at the end of the day, she comes home and it's just herself, and what then? Yeah.
Trust me, me too. Me too. Well, I thank you for your time. Very, very lovely film, and I appreciate you making some time for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Have a
Take
good
care.
rest of the day.
You too. Thanks, guys, for your time. I love that this wasn't just your usual coming of age story where everything is so neat and everything ends with a bow, because it definitely was not that. There was a lot going on, and I really thought it was cool. Beginning with you, Amy, a lot of teenagers can look to a film like this and look to see themselves and maybe some of the angst that they're experiencing as young people. What do you think is the biggest problem teenagers have right now, and how does honor society can kind of, give a bird's eye view into some of those issues?
Ooh, I mean, I think whether it's now or 10 years ago, I think it's always been hard in that age, especially when we're going into high school, we're figuring out who we are, to just be authentically ourselves. It's so hard to kind of stick in our own lane and not look around to others for approval, for belonging and fitting in. And I think that's something Honor Society highlights really beautifully, is the ability for other people that are not like each other to really take an interest in one another, and not only appreciate them, but actually come to like bond and form friendships and create something, not going to say what, but like create some pretty beautiful things together.
Absolutely. I agree, couldn't agree with you more. And the continuing on that path, I don't want to dispel any of the story plots, but Armani, I really liked your character that, we have these tropes that we always see in archetypes that we see in these type of teenage films. And I love how your character just dispels from that.
Total.
Yeah, there's so many different layers to your character, Travis, that kids can relate to. It used to be so all or nothing. What attracted you to Travis? Was it that layering effect, and how did it draw you in?
Yeah, I think it was definitely that Travis's character initially seems to have it all figured out. Everybody wants to be him, or be with him, whatever it might be. And I think that's also a type of character that's neglected. Is some kids might look like they have it all, and they might look like they're super confident, when in reality it's not even really what they want to be doing, and they kind of have felt forced into it a little bit. So I was super drawn to the character just because I relate to that in a way. I feel like sometimes we can all feel like we don't have what we might want, even though a lot of people around us look at you and they're like, oh wow, you must have it all figured out. And I think there's always something to hide, and there's always another layer to uncover. And we're living in an age also where it feels like everything's been done, I feel like. So it's nice to see a film, switch it up for a little a little while.
For sure. We're going to put a picture of Travis there, like if Check on Your Strong Friend was a person. And we're going to put Travis right there because he's got a lot of stuff going on. Amy, over back to you with Kennedy. I too was a kindred drama person in high school. I get it. I totally got it. I was like, yes, I know that person. And it was fascinating to see how she gets kind of sort of drawn out by Honor, who isn't necessarily the nicest, and when we were first introduced to Honor, it has like a Mean Girls kind of feel. If you could point to that one quality that you think the Honor character has that pulls Kennedy out of her shell, what do you think is that characteristic?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think probably honestly just her genuine curiosity. And I think Kennedy is someone that's very used to probably having people kind of make assumptions about her. But I think for someone like Honor to show a genuine interest and just asking questions of like, when did you write this? Oh, you usually do these kind of things. I think it's probably those things that kind of jars Kennedy the most. And it's like, whoa, it's like, I actually have someone to talk to about these things for the first time in my life. So I would say it's probably that.
For sure. Armani, what I like about Travis is it just needed really like one little spark, like one catalyst to kind of start the ball rolling to him really revealing his full and authentic self. When you think about those type of experiences in your own life, is it as simple as that for you personally, that you just needed a catalyst to kind of pull you out of your comfort zone, or how do you relate to that?
Yeah, I think a lot of times like it's friends and it's people around you who help you get to where you want to be. If you don't still have the confidence to initially go to that one person you want to tell something to, it feels easier to talk to someone else about it and tell them how you want to tell this other person this. And I think it takes an observer, and I think Honor is that observer. She's kind of watching things from an outside perspective, and a lot of people might see something a certain way, but she's paying attention to it more, and she's like, okay, wait, I think I'm putting two and two together. And really all it takes is for someone to understand. And I think when someone comes to you and they're like, hey, you might not know this, but like I understand, it gives you a sense of like, wait, maybe like it isn't so weird to open up. Maybe there are people out there who are okay with it, and they're okay with me not being what I might have seemed to be this whole time.
What and to lastly, Amy, over to you. I'm always amazed by just costumes in films because of however long the duration of the movie is, and we get a lot of Black clothing. So when you got a chance to see your wardrobe, did you go in there like no color, no white clothing, no red, no orange, no nothing, just black clothing the whole time?
I've got to say, someone else might have felt that way, but I'm pretty much like that too. I open up
I'm sure that you like that.
Black, gray, blue. So I was actually thrilled. I felt like a kid walking into a candy shop the first fitting we had, and Beverly just pulls out like 30 options for all these incredible, intricate, like puff sleeve and these amazing silhouettes. I was just thrilled to be able to collaborate with her and try on her design, really.
Mm-hmm. Same for you, Armand, because I mean, Travis is fly. I can't even lie. All the swag, the whole movie, the outfits, very super duper fly. Did anything make it home with you? Did it all stay on set?
I actually did I kept a jacket that they had me wear. I wanted to take the orange Jordans, but they needed them for another shoot.
I know.
I think my favorite piece, honestly, was the 4-inch heels I had to wear in the final scene. That was honestly fun for me. Like I would have thought that would have been like the most miserable time, but it was fun. Because when am I ever going to be in 4-inch heels? It was a good time. I had a fun time doing that. So
what new respect have you learned for heel wearers? People wear heels early after doing that.
A huge, I mean, it's 50% respect. It's 50% like, what, why, how, like, how are you, like, what, is it even worth it at this point for you? But at the same time, it is definitely half respect. I think it's definitely worth it as far as the look, but you gotta endure a little bit of pain for styles.
Well, you definitely got your taste too. That was a long shoot day that you all were wearing those.
Long day with those heels on. I remember I almost tripped once walking down the hallway back to my set chair because I just was not used to it yet.
Well, so here's your tip. The big conglomerate that we all like to order things from, I won't say their name, you know who I'm talking about. There's a spray you can buy to numb your feet if you have to wear heels all day. It's a foot number. Pro tip. Then you can choose.
Gotten to that.
Amy?
You're gonna take notes. I'm remembering.
And that way you can make it through the night and pop an Advil too. Well, I thank you guys for your time. This was so fun. I have a teenager of my own and I see the angst down the hall. And so, maybe this will help me navigate our communication a little better. Thank you so much, you guys, for your time. This is a really cool movie.
Thank you so much.
black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.